It has been well over 30 years since the Alien franchise began, and I know that I, for one, have, since the Prometheus franchise started, like Prometheus and eventually the Alien Covenant and all those things, I have always wanted to I wish they would have solidified some things, and I realize more and more, for a guy who hates prequels, that's me, I really dig this. I'm talking about Alien Earth. Have you seen it? It is not bad. It is not bad at all. Let's get into it. So yeah, it's funny. I had no clue this was going to be a thing. I really didn't. I had no intention of reviewing it. It wasn't on my radar to review. So all of a sudden it was like, hey, the show has started. And I was like, okay. So I put it on. It was funny. I put it on as I was working. I point toward my work area. And I remember more than not, I was watching the screen. I was like, I'd be working, and something would catch my attention, and I'd just catch it. It's a solid foundation for a story. It's definitely expanding the lore. Let's talk a little bit about it. So it takes place in time, 2 years before the events of Alien proper. So before the actual movie itself, the first movie begins. And then they're establishing the world. You get to see Weyland-Yutani, you get to see, it's funny, they're setting it up in a very Game of Thronesian way. And that might be on purpose, and that's fine. I can even see a pitch where, having come from television, I can even see a pitch where they're like, this is, we're going to get to see the intrigue of Earth with aliens. Also, spoilers, they waste no time aliening. Like, seriously, you get in a full-blown alien xenomorph in the first episode, you get face huggers, and you get, in the second episode, same thing. You get to see the full-blown thing. And it's not too shabby. Basic premise, by the way, a ship very similar to the one in Alien. In fact, the first few minutes, they're doing this really interesting flash forward, flashback setup. It's one of the most interesting and creative ways to do exposition, in my opinion, because it got me really wanting to know what was going on. And they show you a crew. It feels very much like the original movie, and I liked that. The aesthetic is there, down to like the digital words, the whole 9 yards, and they have all these. They also introduce out the gate 3 new components in lore. 2 of them we already knew. You have cyborgs, which are enhanced human beings. You have synths, which are synthetic human beings, i.e. androids, like Rook or whoever from the first movie or whatever his name was. And that's played by Timothy Olyphant, by the way. He does an amazing job as this character. It's kind of stupid. And then he got bleached eyebrows. It's funny. He really reminds me of Rutger Hauer from Blade Runner, if you ask me. Seriously, just the way he comes across is very that. Like, if they have a scene at all in this series where he's standing in the rain talking, I'm going to be like, oh, you guys totally wanted it to be that style of character. Got it. And so, but now within this world, you hear of the different companies. And I guess some of them we know from lore, but there's a brand new one called Prodigy. And Prodigy is very much informed, I believe, by like the tech billionaires or whatever, the youngest trillionaire ever on the planet. And so he's entered I guess, like, corporations are like nations. Corporations run and control the world. And you get a lot of lore expansion, at least for me. I was never an Alien comic book reader, so I don't know. I think most of the Alien comic books always focused on the actual xenomorph creatures and their relationship to like the Predator and aliens and stuff like that. Anyway, so seeing this character, this new kid, and he's got his own island, and he apparently is really is themed around Peter Pan, which makes sense because he's the brilliant boy and whatever else. And so you open with Sydney Chandler plays Wendy. Wendy is actually a artificial person, so like the body of an android, with a human mind downloaded into them. It's funny. When I explain this to my father-in-law, because he loves this kind of nonsense, you have to understand, this show is 2 parts horror and 1 part psychological thriller. There's a lot of moving pieces going on. But what I really appreciate about it was, it's not treating us like we're dumb. This is classic sci-fi in a way that makes a lot of sense. At its core, the character of Wendy, the young lady she was originally, she has a terminal illness. Apparently, the only way you can create these kind of downloaded synthetic people is that you have to, if you're young, you can go in, because once you go, you can go in. If you're already a grown-up, you have issues. They explain it very rudimentarily in that you don't fit.
Grown-up minds don't fit? Because grown-up minds are too stiff, so they can't make the trip yet. But our minds, kid minds, we fit just right.
So this allows you to grow into that body, even though the body doesn't grow. And so you have to, it's a very interesting, and they're all obviously, because why wouldn't you build androids they're stronger, faster, the whole 9 yards. This ship, this Weyland-Yutani ship that's in space crashes on Earth and just so happens to crash into Prodigy, Neverland. Prodigy's private island, private little nation world. So Wendy's brother, who has been told she's dead, because apparently the parents make the deal with Prodigy. And the deal is, listen, your kid will live, but they can never go back to their old life. And the parents are like, fine, as long as I know my child is alive somewhere, whatever. And I get that. It's a leap, but I'm okay, but I'm here for it. And we don't really get into the human rights of it all. And I feel like that's more established in the world. Even at one point, there's a conversation where the Weyland-Yutani lady calls, the head of that.
You have something that belongs to me.
To be fair, it fell from the sky and broke one of my buildings.
Reparations will be made. Just send us a bill.
And dude's like, I don't know. She's like, well, what if we come anyway? And he's like, that's what we have attorneys for. You know, don't make this a thing. And apparently, so like legal disputes among corporations or nations, corporate states, are handled through lawyers and whatnot. I think we're still going to get a Weyland group. I think we're going to get some actual like Marine style people that are going to go help and do a thing. The rook of their ship, because all of them are going to be dirty, has essentially given up his crew to the aliens because they need the specimen. It all comes down to the specimen. Now, whether they're going to rewrite history or not, because the point of the show is you have to, this show falls prey to what everything else does. Strange New Worlds is a Star Trek prequel, has to deal with that. Star Wars, same thing. As we're expanding the lore and creating this universe, which I believe firmly, especially when you have the likes of Predator Badlands coming and everything else, I believe eventually we are going to build to an Alien versus Predator that is respectable, that we all want. That all being said, it's beautiful. The Alien is straight up faithful and is raw. Oh my gosh, there's so many crazy, this really latches onto the horror elements. Okay, let me put it this way. After I watched this, I had to go back and watch on Alien Romulus because I was like, I want to live in this world. And after Romulus, I'm probably going to watch the original again because that made me want, it's this zigzagging of stuff. I don't know if I'll ever go back to watch Prometheus, though Prometheus is much better than we remember. It kind of is aging well with me. But, and Alien Covenant. Alien Covenant, I actually have never finished. I need to finish it. I've only watched about 2/3 of it. Yeah, man, I'm down. I'm here for it. If you guys are too, I'll be happy to review it every week because I enjoyed watching the show. So comment below. Let me know what you thought of the whole thing. And again, don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. It really helps us in the algorithm. It helps us continue to grow the channel. And guys, I can't tell you what it means to me to grow with you guys. So there you go. Now you know. And if knowing's half the battle, you're halfway to being a know-it-all yourself. What is the know-it-all index for the first 2 episodes, the series premiere of Alien Earth? I tell you what, I'm really excited by this. I really am. I think together they're building the lore really well. They've been hitting on all thrusters so far. There's very little that I'm bumping into. Though I know a lot of people out there who are like, it's this, it's the other, it's whatever. I feel none of those things. Yes, there is, someone appropriately put it, while the show itself is not woke, the show is leaving sockets open for people to interpret that way if they want. Because there's language like transition from human body to droid body, the whole bit. That's the kind of way you want to do it, folks. Writers pour themselves into their work. So I expect there to be a bit of coding to that effect. But at the same time, it wasn't so blatant that I caught it without someone pointing it out. For me, this was a wonderful story told, very laid out well. I can't wait to see how they structure the rest of this and ultimately where it's going to go. But yeah, I was here for it, man. I think you will be too. Give it a shot. Would love to hear your thoughts. We'll talk more about it. I do intend to talk a little bit about it tomorrow night on the show with Salty and sort of see what his thoughts are. I know we've done an Alien ranking in the past, which I will link to in the description below, as well as put a card up there. It was a live stream for Nerd Fights, but we talk a lot about that then too. All right, guys, we'll talk again very soon. Never forget, everyone loves a know-it-all. Bye, guys.